What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some very good NBA news to talk about, especially if you are a Chicago Bulls fan. I don't think there should be anyone more excited in the world right now than Chicago Bulls fans, because they are doing some really interesting things. I mean, at the time of making this video, they are 7-3. Every single thing seems to be going in their favor except one little thing. And that one little thing is the power forward position, where they recently just had Patrick Williams go down with an injury that will, I believe, be putting him out for the season. Meaning that the Bulls now need to go find pretty much, not only I think like a backup power forward, like this team is already pretty small, but they need to find a new starting power forward right now. And there is a player that has seemed to be coming up in trade talks that I think would genuinely be perfect for the Chicago Bulls, and also it could be a good situation for the other side too. And this is Detroit Pistons forward Jerami Grant. It is currently being reported that the Chicago Bulls are interested in trading for forward Jerami Grant after original starting power forward Patrick Williams was ruled out for the rest of the season. Now this is being reported by everyone and their dad, like legitimately everyone and their dad, maybe a couple of their cousins too. Pretty much every single Chicago, like, news feed or whatever, they're kind of talking about this. And what's really interesting is it seems to be the fans are really divided on who to trade up to actually make this happen. For example, it seems to be that the common conception is right now that one of either Kobe White or Patrick Williams will have to be revolved in this trade to happen. That's obvious, it's obvious. The Detroit Pistons are going to want a lot for a player who's easily their best player. Like, I mean, it is quite an easy thing to say that he is their best player. I mean, they're 1-8 right now. Everyone on the team is pretty average except him, and then you get a couple good role players here and there. But this season, he's not having his best year. He's averaging 16.5 points per game. His 3-point percentage is a little bit down, but it's because he's shooting so much, and it seems like this Detroit team is somehow worse than last year's. I don't know how that happened. It's really weird. I think I've seen a lot of Detroit Pistons fans say this. Like, it seems like, Jerami Grant regressed a little bit. He's not playing as good as, he once was. Then you got players like Isaiah Stewart, etc., Killian Hayes, who were supposed to make the jump and just haven't really made too much of a jump. And then you got Cade Cunningham, who's kind of come in and has been a little bit, inconsistent in some of his games. I mean, he's only shooting 14% from 3, 4 from 28, which is outstanding, like, to read out loud. Like, well, not outstanding in a good way, like, outstanding on how the hell is he shooting this bad. The Detroit Pistons are in a really weird situation right now, where I think they've realized that Saddiq Bey and Jerami Grant at the forwards, like, it just doesn't really work. Both of them are kind of power forwards, and one of them is having to play small forward every night. So I think they're going to probably trade Jerami Grant, because Saddiq Bey is, of course, a little bit younger. So that's pretty much, I think, the situation there. Plus, I think they need some picks to kind of get back in, or some young players. And considering this Detroit Pistons team really doesn't have a solidified guard yet. Like, Cade Cunningham, of course, is going to be the solidified guard. Don't get me wrong. He will be. I think this year he might struggle a bit. He's had some injuries here and there. He's playing really inconsistent. But it's just, I'm not too sure if he's a point guard or a shooting guard. I still think they're looking for another, the solidified guard. They don't really have that solidified guard yet that, whether it's going to be in the 2 or the 1. It's because Cade's just kind of floating around. We don't really know where he's going to be. Then you got Corey Joseph, who's a veteran. I doubt will be on this team much longer. And then Killian Hayes is, he's Killian Hayes. Not that good. And then they're just really not playing Saban Lee at all. So, it is really interesting to see how they're, of course, going to go about this. But when it comes to the Chicago Bulls and who they should actually trade, look, before I say who I think they should trade, just keep in mind, please, that this is my opinion. Please don't hate in the comments. Don't be that guy that says, oh, they should have traded the other guy, this and that, because it's really just my opinion. A lot of people agree with me. A lot of people don't. I'll talk about both sides of things, but out of my opinion on who they should trade out of Patrick Williams and Kobe White, I think they should go with Kobe White. I think they're, guards right now are in a really good spot. You got Lonzo Ball at point, Zach LaVine at shooting guard, Alex Caruso as your backup point there. DeMar DeRozan can really just play wing. He can even play small ball power forward, right now as well. And then you even just got guys like Javonte Green have actually been really good this season, can play some guard here and there. And then, Ayo Dezonmu, I just had a stroke trying to pronounce his name. I'm sorry if I stuffed that up. To be honest, I haven't really heard his name pronounced. But I know he is playing some pretty good ball this year, and he's a rookie who I think they're definitely going to really want to take forward. And honestly, I just don't think they really need the guard spot at the moment. I really think they need that forward depth. So if I was them, I would be looking to go ahead and trading for Patrick Williams. A trade that I would look at because they've got a match, trading away Kobe Wright rather. A trade that I'd be looking at because they got to match the $20 million salary is I probably, would look to them and say, can we do, some contract swaps and, just see how we go here, because there are some other players that, Chicago may be interested in here and there as well. Of course, what I'd be looking at is I'd say, can we get Jerami Grant, who's on $20 million? That's pretty standard. Then if I was, Chicago, I'd also be looking at a dude like, even just another guard just to replace Kobe White. Who probably won't get any minutes, to be like a 15th man. I'd probably look at a dude like Saban Lee, who's not anywhere near as good as what Kobe White is, but he's a dude that can play a similar role off the bench. It's nowhere near as good. I'd probably be looking at like that. I'd say, hey, can we get, Jerami Grant and Saban Lee? That means they have to make up like $21 million. And then what I'd, ask if I was Chicago is that, so we'll give you then Derrick Jones Jr., who's on around $10 million. We'll give you Kobe White, who's on around $6 million. So that's $16 million right there. And then I'd say to them, can we give you just Troy Brown and make up contracts as $21 million pretty much. Well, not Troy Brown, but actually, yeah, we'll go Troy Brown. Just to make up contracts. He's a young guy. And then if I was then the Bulls, I would probably offer up a protected pick, I think. And then that should get the deal done. Because right now, Jerami Grant is not playing that good of basketball. His three-point percentage is really down. It doesn't look like Detroit need him at the moment. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if they got rid of him, they could then start Saddiq Bey at that power forward position, make some moves up here and there. And then really what you get out of this if you are Detroit is you get a really nice quality young guy in Kobe White who could be your new starting point guard. You move Cade Cunningham to the 2. You do something like that. Maybe that could be their backcourt for the future. Then you bring in a really solid role player in Derrick Jones who, again, they could start him at small forward if they wanted, or they could give Josh Jackson the minutes. He's looking to really try and prove himself as well. Seems like he's being held back a tiny bit. And then you obviously just bring in another dude like Troy Brown, who probably won't get minutes, but hey, then there's that first round pick. You pretty much bring in, Saddiq Bey into a new position, which will make him better. You're bringing in a really good scoring guard. You're bringing in a nice defensive forward. And, that first round pick, dude, that's going to help out really nice if you're the Detroit Pistons, in my opinion. And then, there's the Patrick Williams case where it'd pretty much just be the same deal, but you replace Kobe White with Patrick Williams. So that's just kind of the thing. But hey, how you improve it, if you're the Chicago Bulls, is you get rid of a couple of those contracts like Troy Brown and that who don't really make too much sense. They're not very good players. Derrick Jones, he's alright. He's a little bit overpaid now at this point. But you get rid of those players and get rid of Kobe White, who's not even on the team right now because he's got a lot of injuries to deal with. And you pretty much, just give up a protected first round pick, which really won't mean that much to them. And you bring in a dude that I think will improve. Well, he will have the same stats on Chicago, but of course his 3-point percentage will go up, this and that. And then basically now you've got some power forward depth. And then not just that, because you've just got, given away 3 players and you've only brought back in 2, then you can maybe go out and sign a veteran forward here and there. Not sure who that will be, but I'm assuming there'll be some, good forward eventually that maybe reaches a buyout with the team or something like that happens who you can, look to try and get. I'm sure there'll be something like that, comes down the line. But hey, that's my suggestion on a potential trade. I really do think Chicago should go after Jerami Grant, though. I think a starting five of Alonso at point, Zach LaVine at shooting guard, DeMar at small forward, Jerami Grant at power forward, Nikola Vucevic at center is probably the most elite starting five in the league. That's really nearly as good as Philadelphia's starting five a couple years ago, where it looked absolutely elite, but yet hopefully if you're a Bulls fan, they don't fumble the bag rather, as much as Philadelphia did a couple years ago, where they had, what was it, Butler, Simmons, Embiid, Harris, and Redick in the starting five. My God, that team was overpowered and they still managed to lose. You know, you got that really good starting five, then off the bench, it's a pretty weak bench if I'm being honest. You look at it, it's got, you know, Alex Caruso's there, Tony Bradley still there, Elijah Johnson, Javonte Green, and maybe, you know, of course, Ayo Dazun, dude, I was going to call him Ayo for now. You got him there as well, and you bring in Saban Lee. But then I think the other thing is you go and sign some veterans here and there eventually as well. So, hey, it would be actually a really, really good team. And the best thing is that starting five will be contracted for a long time, because there's no way Zach LaVine doesn't re-sign with the Bulls now at this point. I think it'd be really weird if he didn't. And yeah, it'd be a pretty good team. Just got to maybe sign some more veterans here and there. But hey, I think Chicago could be the best team in the league if they get that team going and rolling. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all the latest NBA content and NBA news. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel and my IRL/Long channels if you haven't already. All of them will all be linked in the description down below. But as I was saying, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.